Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Course in Miracle Friday morning group. And I'm Lisa Natoli. And we had snow here in New England, which is crazy. And it's not just a light sprinkling. It was actually snow. We saw 4 cars off the side of the road this morning. And I'm grateful that we're here. And I was making a joke that it's Throwback Friday, that there'll only be 3 of us here. But it actually is more than 3 of us here. And we know that you guys are on live stream. So I'm just grateful that everyone showed up. The sun is actually shining now, so I know the snow will be gone. Probably in 2 hours, it'll be totally gone. And today we have 2 big treats. We have Monica Dubay is going to be teaching today, and I'm so excited to hear what she has to share. I'll do a more formal introduction in a moment. And she's leaving for Florida. She's leaving us. She's leaving after Thanksgiving, and we are just so grateful that you're listening to your guidance and going where the next step is. And that's really what this is all about. And we also have Elaine Falvey's back in the house. So she moved to Mexico with this awesome guy, Jack, and she's down there near Jimmy Twyman's place, and she's back in the house, so she's going to be doing our gratitude prayer of the day in a moment. And before we get to that, I just want to say a few announcements. Is that the Transformation Room for the Teachers of God Foundation is opening up for enrollment next week, only for 4 days. So the Transformation Room is the Teachers of God online community. So funny, you guys are all over here. I'll talk to you guys now. You guys that don't have bodies over there. Okay, Bill's over there now. Okay, thank you. Funny. So the Transformation Room is a global online community by the Teachers of God Foundation, and it really is incredible. And it has a monthly topic every single month, and it has a weekly deliverable. Every single week you get a topic delivered to you. It's either a video, an interview, an audio, a meditation, a practice. And it's a way for everyone just to keep on track with your own transformation, that you don't fall by the wayside and fall back into your old habits. And it's only open a couple of times a year. So they're opening up the enrollment on November 27th through November 30th. And I really encourage everyone who's listening to go to the Teachers of God Foundation website right now and click on the button that says Transformation Room. It says that it's a community, and that'll put you on the waiting list to get the emails. And then you can make the decision if you want to join, because it's only open for 4 days. And what we saw a few months ago when we opened the doors up is that when we closed the doors, we got a bunch of emails, people saying, I didn't know. And we're like, sorry, doors are closed. And the reason for that is that it keeps everyone together as a group. So we're really grateful for the community that's here joining with us. And I am now going to call Elaine Falvey up to do our Cafe Gratitude reading.
Thank you. Well, hello, everybody. Or hola, buenos dias. Hola. I know that's about my extent of Spanish. But anyway, I'm grateful to be here. I'm here for a couple of weeks, and I'm here with all my favorite peeps, and this is going to be so much fun. I'm here till after Thanksgiving, and living in Mexico has been amazing. And I thought I was going to escape the snow, but no, that didn't happen. Put that in your mind, and what do you get? Snow. Anyway, so let's see what this says, if I can read it and hold the mic. If you wait until you're sure, you may wait forever. Well, I wouldn't be in Mexico if I waited till I was sure. And it's been the best thing ever. We eat so well. We walk 4 to 5 miles a day. I've lost 30 pounds and I feel so great. And it has been just amazing going to Jimmy's every morning during the week. Hi, David. Yeah. and enjoying all the peeps there, and it's just been phenomenal. And when I first got there, it was like, what the heck am I doing there? And then when I was coming here, it was like, what the heck am I doing here? I don't know where I belong at this point. I'm just going where I go. I don't know. But it's been quite a fun journey. And how could I not come here? I wouldn't be with all these guys. So
There's one more question there.
one more question. All right, let's see. I got to open it up here like this. And it says, who are you making wrong? Well, I'm the only one. There's nobody else. So it's got to be me. Tag, you're it. Oh, no. I mean, going through the course, and I've been doing it more lately than ever. And, there's only one of us. We're the only ones that can correct things, that can make things wrong, that can be bad, be good. Whatever we put a label on is what we're doing to ourselves. And we're projecting it on the next guy if we don't want to deal with it. So the outing of all these things is what's really been transformational. I remember Bill always saying, I don't have to change anything. I just have to say it and admit it, and it just disappears. It's the darkness coming up to the light, and it just magically just goes by grace. And this is the experience I've been having with Jack a lot. He and I go through all of these things constantly. And there was one point where it was like, I'm exhausted. But now it's kind of clearing up all those little extra things that have been stuck coming up and going. And I don't know, my life is just opening up into a beautiful way. And I feel like I've gone from the caterpillar to the butterfly. And it's just been one process that's been great. So thank you all for listening to me. And I will turn this back over to Lisa. Thank you.
So, good. We have more people on this side of the room now. Okay, very good. Okay, so before we go into our meet and greet, let's just do a prayer. And prayer is nothing more than a way to reach the light within. And we call that anything you want. You are now reaching God. You are reaching the presence, the power, the light, the love, the joy. So taking a deep breath in, forgetting everything you came here with, forgetting your personal history, your past, your future, allowing yourself this time as a gift to yourself and to the world, where you dedicate your mind to being present, breathing in again. And this light that you are, it knows what to do. And all we are really doing in prayer is acknowledging what has always been there, but which we cannot see or experience in our distraction. And so I thank you for being here in this holy place, our new beginning, a new beginning for each one of us personally, a new beginning for the world. And we enter into the Thanksgiving season, where we give thanks for what we are. We give thanks that we are remembering the truth of our being. And in remembering the truth of our being, we remember our brother. And we see our own holiness, and we see the holiness of everyone and everything. And we are willing now to allow the blocks and obstacles that still remain, like Elaine said, as little threads, to be removed. That we are willing now, and willing is the word will. I will that these little threads, energetic threads of old thoughts, old beliefs, old judgments, now be dissolved. I don't need them anymore. I use them for self-protection, to protect the self I thought was real. And now I recognize and acknowledge that that self is not real. We are the light. We are the love of God. And we give thanks that this is our new beginning. Amen. So now we greet each other in love and joy. Oh, I love it. I close my eyes and the room appears. Thank you. Namaste.
I'm going to turn this on for the guys online. All right, I'm going to turn you guys on. Love you, man and woman. I just turned the mic on for you. You're not on yet, right? I did call you back.
I heard that. Yes. Yes, I heard
Let's see.
Actually, I suggest they go to my website and download the free gift.
This mic is on.
Okay.
I got this in Arizona. Beautiful.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Morning.
Oh, did you see
That
it?
interview. Oh yeah,
Oh, I
want
didn't
it.
watch it yet. I love her too. I'm gonna watch it.
They're so. Oh wow.
Okay. Is that his wife?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did. Yeah, I pumped some of the bar, so I'm gonna tell you guys some.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Well, it is my deep honor and pleasure today to introduce to you an amazing teacher and a dear friend of mine, Monica Dubay. And you guys are in for a tremendous treat today. I'm going to. I have my iPad. I'm ready to roll. Seriously. So my computer died yesterday, so I've entered into the league of Bill Free. My computer died, LOL. And I think I must have put water in my bag, accidentally spilled out, and I put my computer in there, and when it came out, the computer was wet and the computer's dead. Well, I love A Course in Miracles because you really get to see whether you have a reaction to things. And if you do, well, there's the work. That's it. There's no accidents. And so when you tried to turn it on and it's totally dead and I don't have the money to buy a new one. And so I'm like, all right, you literally can't do anything except stand still. And then I ended up taking a shower and I'm in the shower going, okay, I have a Zoom call tonight that's live and all my work is on the computer. But in the shower, I'm just watching the thoughts. That's all the work is. You recognize that these thoughts don't have any power unless you give them power. And there's joy in that. And when I got out of the shower, I'm wrapped in a towel, and Bill comes in the bedroom and says, "Oh, you can use my PC, you know, until the next moment happens." So you recognize that everything really is unfolding. And so Monica wasn't unfolding for me. And I've told this story before, is that when I was living in New York City, I was praying for help. I was in my apartment and asking for a physical teacher. Like, I'd had A Course in Miracles for a long time. And I really felt like I was at the point where I'd heard other stories of people hearing a voice or seeing angels or seeing Jesus. I never had that experience. And so I doubted very much my own experience, because I just thought there's nobody around me to verify what is coming clear in my mind, that there is no world. But I didn't have a physical demonstration as a person. And I quietly asked within to show me a person. I said, I need a person. I need the message to come through a body that I can hear and recognize. And this is what I love about A Course in Miracles, because this is what it says is the plan of teachers. Like, first you undergo your own awakening to love, and you accept the gifts that are already yours, love and peace and grace and light and joy. And then the second part is to begin extending these gifts out to your brother, who is yourself. And so when I asked for help that week, a person showed up in my Course in Miracles group, Greta, and you showed up the next week. So after I met Greta, Teddy showed up on Sunday, and then you showed up in New York City. You were living in Wisconsin, and from an academy called Endeavor Academy, which is no longer there. It's a place where people were really dedicated to A Course in Miracles. And you came to New York for a year before I came there. And I thank you with all my heart. She kept traveling back and forth from Wisconsin to New York, and she confirmed what I knew to be true. Like, I saw the message in another, that you really can trust in the invisible. You can begin to trust in guidance. You're not crazy. And she's dedicated her life to this work of helping others. She's a coach. She's a spiritual teacher. Just an incredibly clear message. You're a messenger and the message. So for those of you online, I invite you to check out Monica's website. It's healyourmindhealyourlife.com. And there's just a lot of great content there. You can sign up for a free gift. And I'm just going to read your bio a little bit. It says, I am a spiritual life and business coach, intuitive energy healer, author, and speaker for leadership. I am on a mission to empower people who want to crush fear. Who wants to crush fear? Okay. Shamelessly love themselves and change the world. Who's that? Okay, good. She has an upcoming book, which I'm excited about. Heal Your Mind, Heal Your Life is about how to change your fundamental blueprint of your life to freedom, abundance, and purpose. Since my first awakening experience using A Course in Miracles in 1989, I have focused on the healing of the mind. I came out of severe depression and anxiety through natural methods. I became a licensed massage therapist, craniosacral therapist, A Course in Miracles teacher, spiritual counselor, and retreat and workshop leader. I welcome you, Monica Dubay.
I love you. Wow. It's so funny. Thank you, Lisa, for that introduction. It's really funny when somebody talks about you because of the things that you've been through in your past, and you know that's all nothing because it's over and gone. And yet it is what brought me to be here right now in this moment. And I wanted to address today, the topic is there's nothing, and I really mean nothing, that your holiness cannot do. It's probably the most important message of the Course because many of us don't realize how powerful we are We don't realize the power of our mind. We're caught in anxiety, which is what we've been talking about recently. We're caught in moments that brought us to our pain in the past, where losses, devastations, people dying. And so we're caught in our story, basically. We're caught in the past and the story that we keep telling about it. And the truth of it is that the story is still just a fabrication that you have made up. And when I look at my stories and how I like to keep telling them so people will feel bad for me, it's an act, right? It's something that I do to get attention, to have other people react a certain way. It's all ego. It's the ego going, look at me, poor me, and how many of us do that? Well, I think we all do that to some extent, right? Until you get kind of sick of it, because it gets really like, ugh, I don't want to tell that story again. It isn't helping me. It isn't making me free. It isn't working for my relationships. It's actually making people not want to be with me. So it's a good idea to just decide to stop. So how do you stop telling the story of your past? Well, really just be done with it in your mind and decide, okay, what happened, but the story's not real, right? It's a transformational experience, and it's something that you have to go through. It's like learning to ride a bike. You can't learn to ride a bike until you actually do it, right? So, but once you do it and you've got it, you can ride the bike. You never lose it again. And that's what transformation is like. You never lose it once you've got it. Once you've got the mechanism that works for you, you never have to learn a new mechanism. You don't have to read any more books. You don't have to go find another guru or teacher. You can simply rest in the certainty that you already know what works for you. And how it works is not up to you. It's a miracle, right? That's why it's a Course in Miracles. A miracle happens because you suddenly got so tired of your story and so tired of your pain and so willing, really willing to see it differently, right? That's what happened to me in 1989 when I was in severe depression and I had enough of my pain and psychotherapy wasn't working and hypnosis wasn't working and doctors, drugs giving didn't work. I didn't want to do that. And I recognized that there was no way I could solve my own problem. I couldn't. And so I prayed and I got on my knees and I found myself reading a little book called You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. And of course, if anyone knows anything about New Thought, that was the beginning of the New Thought movement for me, was to realize that I can heal my life by looking at my thoughts and recognizing that none of them are true and I'm making this all up. Okay, so that was like, whoa. I got it. I heard it. So what did that mean? I mean, it's one thing to read a book. It's another thing to actually do it. Practice that. I don't have to solve my own problem. Thank God, because you can't. Anyone coming out of addiction knows that. I of myself, I can do nothing. And a power greater than myself can restore me to sanity if I am willing, right? And the little willingness in chapter 18, I think it is all about the little willingness that is required of you. That's all that's required of you. A little willingness to see it all differently, to stop telling the story, to stop being self-centered, afraid, and really dishonest with yourself and out of integrity with yourself. Because the more you tell your story, the more you focus on what happened in the past, you can really get caught in it and think it's true, and you live your life there. And you're very ineffectual in your life. You don't help anyone, you don't heal anyone, you don't impact anyone, because you're so stuck in that mire, the muck and the mire of what's not even there. So what happened after that was I found the Course in Miracles, and it was brilliant that I went to this class and they're like, oh, it's just a book and you read it. And I opened it up and it was like, Jesus speaking to me about my mind. I'm like, how do you know how to speak that I spoke English? You know, it's in English. Like I was so blown away by the fact that we had this text, and now it's a big text in this edition. All I had to do was start reading it and really open it up, do the lessons. And I'll do the first couple lessons because they're really phenomenal. There's nothing my holiness cannot do is the topic, but what you've got to get to your holiness, right? To know that that's true. How do you get to your holiness if you're stuck in your story? You can't. It's impossible. So it's a very personal journey. Your journey doesn't look like anyone else's journey. It doesn't look like the Dalai Lama. It doesn't look like the master teacher who was my teacher for 12 years. It doesn't look like Amma. It looks like you, literally you being the master of your own mind. And I really want to say that with all certainty, that you can master your own mind. It's possible. And it's not only possible, but you must do this if you're going to be free and help anyone else. Okay, so because my business is all about helping other people. Like it's about learning that it's not enough that I woke up. It's not. I'm sitting alone in my house, awake. I'll get depressed again if I do that. So no, I have to go out and teach. I have to go out and give myself away. And what's happening is I'm realizing there's so many teachers of God that really want to do that too, that apparently my purpose right now, at least, is to help you get yourself out there and be that teacher and impact the world because you're needed. We're all really needed. Okay, why? Because there's so many people suffering. It's like when you get healed of alcoholism, your real function after that is to go out and heal the guy that's still suffering. That's how it works. And it's brilliant. You know, that's how it works because one guy saves the next guy because you know that guy is still you, right? If he's suffering, that's you. If he's in pain, that's you. And you can't stand it. It's like, no, all right. So, I thought I was just going to teach Course in Miracles the rest of my life. But what happened was I was sent here to be here and to be part of the Teachers of God and join Lisa and Bill in their amazing ministry and just step into what I see that was really personal to me, the things I was struggling with when I came here. I had no money. I had no friends, except Lisa. I had a family in Maine, luckily. I had a breakup with a marriage. So I'd left my spiritual community and I was kind of lost for a moment because it felt like I was very disconnected and just kind of thrown up in the air, and I didn't know where to land. But it was kind of freeing. At the same time, it was scary. So that's what adventure feels like. It always feels scary. And sometimes you can't tell the difference between excitement because you're on a new adventure and fear because it's so unknown, right? So that's where we have to live. We have to live in that place. Because if we stay in the unknown and not know what's next, I literally don't know what's going to come out of my mouth next. And so that has to be okay with me. I'm not planning. I'm not figuring anything out. I'm living in the awareness that this is a perfect moment for me to say whatever's coming out of my mouth, and I love you all, and I know that it must be something you want to hear. Because why else would I do this, right? So I help other people discover what they really are here to do and be. And actually, you're just here to be yourself. So that's not a big deal. It's just accept that you are already whole and perfect. Can you do that? I'm already whole and perfect. My story's over. It's done. And I've forgiven it. I completely forgive it. It's, I can tell you the tragedies. I can tell you the loss of custody of my kids. I can tell you the 3 marriages and 3 divorces. I can tell you all that stuff, but it's nothing. It's nothing to me. And only because it's done. It's a done deal. And I don't have to think about it or talk about it anymore. It's just my reference point for knowing that no matter what life threw at me or is throwing at me, in a way, I'm in the adventure and I'm on the court and I'm playing this game. I'm not in the spectators. I'm not a spectator. I'm not rooting on for somebody else. I'm doing what I'm here to do completely and wholeheartedly. Having said that, it's like, oh my God, I'm getting warm. I was so cold, and now I'm like wearing this thing. Well, anyway, I love New England, but I'm going to really enjoy Florida too. That's another thing. I had absolutely no plan to go to Florida. Zero. I was there in October for a week with my sister. I had a very dramatic breakup. And then the next thing I know, I come back here and everything's unfolding for me to actually move there and live there with my sister. And I'm like, this sounds good. I'll do that.
You poor thing.
I know. It's like, oh, good. I don't have to do winter. Like, I have lived in the North for all my life, 59 years. So to actually think of not being in winter is like really weird. It's like, wow, I'm not going to have to suffer with this. And not that it's suffering, because actually I love New England. But it's going to be fun. It's a new adventure. I have no idea what's supposed to happen down there. Absolutely none. Zero. And yet, I have to say, my relationship with my sister is like a rebirth. Because a year ago, even last spring, I was thinking my sister didn't love me. I had this strong judgment that, because last time she came here, she didn't make time to see me. And I thought, she doesn't care about me. And I had this whole story going. And then I did the Landmark Forum. And if anyone wants to go through a deep transformational experience really fast in 3 days, do the Landmark Forum. It's just phenomenal. It showed me things like, you're not expressing yourself. You're not talking to your sister. You're the one not calling her. She doesn't judge you. And it was true. I couldn't believe it. I got on the phone 5 minutes and I'm like, I have been holding back from speaking to you. And I love you so much. I was in tears. Like, I really love you. And I've been doing that I have no idea why. She burst into tears and I just said, I just want you to know I'm going to stay in touch with you now. I have 5 sisters and 3 brothers. So I had a lot of phone calls to make those reconnections, but I did it. And it really, and 2 kids and, 3 ex-husbands. I have a huge circle of people in my life. And with each one of them, I realized I had been holding back. Even my kids. Like, I thought they didn't want to see me. I thought they didn't care. I moved back east and I see them like twice a year. I thought, I'd see them a lot because I'm moving back east. No, they got their lives. They're good. They're in New York. They're doing great. They don't need me. But I was in pain over that, so I called them and told them that. I mean, and it just brought me to this place of surrender. Like, oh my God, all my stories are completely made up. None of them are true. They keep me separate from you. I love you. Elaine, oh my God, I lived with Elaine for what, a year or something? She gave me everything. Nancy gave me everything when I moved here. Everybody gave me everything when I moved here. It's just amazing. Like, everyone keeps giving me everything if I notice. All right, I don't know where I'm going with this. I want to read this lesson, There's Nothing My Holiness Cannot Do, because I really feel that when you get how holy you are and how purposeful your life really is, and that you really are here to make a difference, not just make a difference, but really contribute something that's going to change people's lives. You wouldn't be a teacher of God if you didn't know that, right? I mean, Lisa obviously came here and set up Teachers of God to remind us of who we are. That's basically it. With Bill. And when she met Bill coming here, it's like, yeah, you just need one other guy to help you do it, and look what happens. You impact the world because your life becomes about being totally you and totally of service. There's no other reason. So 38 is the workbook lesson. If you want to follow along, I'm going to get into a little bit. The reason I love this is because it always works for me. No matter what I'm doing, what challenge I'm in, I read this lesson and I go, oh, Right. There's nothing my holiness cannot do. It can heal the sick. It can raise the dead. It can heal my relationships. It can create a world of oneness, which is already here. But it can make me aware of it. It can help me join with someone I didn't love for a moment. And it's really what is the guiding force behind everything, your holiness or your wholeness. Because literally we aren't in, the bodies are cloak, right? Like we're just in this vehicle for a moment. But really, if we see that this is nothing, that we are here to be the light that we are, and it doesn't mean we don't take care of this, we do, but we take care of being attentive to the light, being in God-centeredness, right? Being attentive to who you are and what God really wills for you. So I'm going to read it.
What's the lesson number?
38.
38?
There is nothing my holiness cannot do. Yes. Your holiness reverses all the laws of the world. It is beyond every restriction of time, space, distance, and limits of any kind. Your holiness is totally unlimited in its power because it establishes you as a son of God at one with the mind of his creator or her creator. Through your holiness, the power of God is made manifest. Through your holiness, the power of God is made available. And there is nothing the power of God cannot do. Your holiness then can remove all pain, can end all sorrow, can heal all anxiety. I'm throwing that in. And can solve all problems because they're all made up. And it can do so in connection with yourself and with anyone else. So you have the power to do this. You can heal your brother. And you must. Because you have this knowledge now, this power, and the awareness that you are this power. It is equal in its power to help anyone because it is equal in its power to save anyone. And what are you saving them from? The dream. Nothing. The illusion. Their story. If you are holy, so is everything God created. You are holy because all things he created are holy. And all things he created are holy because you are. God created you, right? He created you perfect and whole. You have nothing to say about that. You can argue with it. You can deny it. You can jump up and down and think, no, not me. I'm not worthy. But when you stop and you really get it, it's really you. There's something that happens to you. You become really solid in yourself. You become grounded. You feel, it's just me. I don't have to look outside for this riddle, to solve this riddle of myself. Because you'll never figure that out. You will never figure yourself out. That's ego mind trying to, I think I can make it out. Like, there's an ego and there's a Holy Spirit and there's this, that. Don't do that. Just be you. Just be yourself. Stop trying to figure it out with your mind, because what's between your two ears is not going to help you. The mind isn't in the body. The mind of God is in everything I see. Okay. In today's exercises, we will apply the power of your holiness to all problems, all difficulties, all suffering in any form that you happen to think of in yourself or in anyone else. Well, that pretty much takes care of it, doesn't it? There are no distinctions. We will make no distinctions between things, like this problem is bigger than that problem, right? That's what the first principle of miracles is. There's no order of difficulty. So this problem isn't bigger than that problem. It really isn't. Your problem isn't bigger than someone else's. I know you think it is, but it isn't. So when you get that, and you get that it's all, you're just you, and your holiness can solve every problem that you can think of, you want to do it, right? You want to actually do it. You want to reach these people in your life. You want to help them. You want to feel better, and you want to not be in your pain and in your suffering and in your misery and your resentments. You want to get out of that. And you have to be helpful. All right. In the 4 longer practice periods, each preferably to last a full 5 minutes. Do you have 5 minutes? I mean, that's a long practice period, 5 minutes, which makes me laugh because, I used to sit in meditation or in a session with the master teacher for 4 hours every single day for 10 years. That was dedication, right? That's what made me see that's all I ever wanted to do. I didn't want to be somewhere else. I wanted to be in this and full on and fully committed. And so anyway, we're asking you to do 5 minutes. Close your eyes. Repeat the idea for the day. We'll do it right now. There is nothing my holiness cannot do. Deep breath. There is nothing my holiness cannot do. And then search your mind for any source of pain, sorrow, sense of loss, or unhappiness of any kind as you see it. Try to make as little distinction as possible between a situation that is difficult for you and one that's difficult for someone else. Identify the situation specifically and name the person concerned. It's important to do that. Name the person you're concerned about. Use this form in applying the idea for the day. In the situation involving name of person, in which I see myself, because I'm in a relationship with them, there is nothing my holiness cannot do. In the situation involving person, in which I see myself, there is nothing my holiness cannot do. If you see them whole, if you see them perfect, that's what they will experience. In the situation involving that person in which he or she sees himself, there is nothing my holiness cannot do. It's still my holiness that heals everything. Okay, how does it feel to know this? You have that much power. You don't have to pretend that you're suffering or in pain like everybody else. No, I'm all powerful. I have the privilege of healing and doing what I came here to do because I agreed to come. We all did, to come and bring this light here, right? And we got lost for a while, but here we are now remembering the truth of who we are, the truth of that we are wholly beyond words, wholly beyond the illusion and what we think is a problem. So there's nothing my holiness cannot do because the power of God lies in it, in my holiness, right? There is only that. And it's always available to me. It's always what I am. It's always what I walk into the room with. Okay, thank you. There's another thing I got to read because we forget how powerful we are because we listen to the monkey mind. We listen to the, oh, what about the past? Oh, what about the future? What if? I don't like him. He did this to me. I did that to him. Blah, 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 blah. And your mind goes into crazy land, right? A lot. And that's what we call anxiety. and you can have panic attacks over it. I just worked with someone yesterday who was having panic attacks because she was listening to that. And this is what I did with her. It was very simple. I don't even know if I can find it now. Thich Nhat Hanh, peace is every breath. Don't just read it. If you get it, do what it says. Oh God, I gotta find it. All right, I'll just read something that he says here that just is amazing. If in the past you were brutalized, abused, or otherwise made to suffer, you should know the way to practice so you can see that although those things did happen, now you're safe. You're not in danger anymore. Recognizing the ghosts of the past for what they are, you can tell them directly, they're not real, and liberate yourself from the prison of the past. If you practice breathing, how many of us breathe and don't breathe? Notice when we don't breathe, because you're in here. When you're in your thoughts, you don't breathe. So that's why the Buddhists love to breathe. They love to teach you to breathe, get into your body, relax, sit down, stop. It works. Breathing, walking, sitting, and working in mindfulness for a few weeks, you will succeed at this, and those old traumas won't drag you down anymore. So I didn't believe it when I read it. I was like, too simple. Yeah, right. Then I did it. And I was feeling a lot of anxiety because I'm moving and I'm doing all kinds of stuff in my business and I'm saying goodbye to people I don't want to say goodbye to, and it's weird. But I'm in the middle of this transition, and I was feeling a lot of tension about it. It's not really anxiety unless I call it that. I just felt some tension in my body. So solidity, can't even say the word, and freedom are the same thing. It's a really interesting concept.
What's the name of the book?
Peace is every step, breath. He's got a lot of books, but this was the one I'm reading from. Wow. Okay, I'll just read something because I can't find the thing I wanted to read. I am solid. I am free. Let that become a mantra to you. I am solid. I am free. I am here. I am free. Right? I'm not a body, but I'm in a body, and I'm free. I don't have to escape a body. I am just here. It's so simple. It works for me. No more crying. No more complaining. This is the last brooding poem. When you quit complaining, your soul will be refreshed. When you stop crying, your eyes will be clear again. If you need to cry, please cry. But you know how long it takes to release an emotion? What is it Abraham Hicks says, like 90 seconds? 90 seconds. So have a total crying, what? 68 seconds. Have a crying fest for 68 seconds and then be done.
You taught me that.
Did I teach you that?
Yeah. You did.
Oh, it's so interesting because I have to learn to do it, because when you're tempted, like you're going through a transition, you have a breakup, something didn't go the way you thought it was going to go. There's all this emotion, right? You got to be with it. Be with it. Don't try to escape it. Just be with it. Breathe it in. Let it be there. Feel what it feels like. And then just don't hang on to it. Don't make it real. Don't make a story up about it. Oh, I'm sad. Yep. That's sadness. That's what sadness feels like for 68 seconds. Let the next thought come. Yeah. Let the next thought come. Oh, actually, I'm going to Florida. Wow. Or actually, I can call that person and tell them I love them and I forgive. I forgive you. And I'm holding back and I've been resentful to you. And I can call someone and say, that Be authentically you. That's what it means to be a leader. It means just to be authentically yourself. When I read that, I was like, oh, no wonder I'm teaching leadership. Because 4 years ago when I came here, I get the download is like, you're going to teach women about leadership. I'm like, what? What's leadership? I don't even know what that means. I didn't. And it's actually a word that doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't. We give it a lot of meaning, like lesson 2, I'm giving everything I see, the meaning it has. But the word leadership, when I got into the landmark work too, it was like, you're just going to be you. Read Brene Brown, you're just going to be you in all your imperfection and all your in all your vulnerability. Can you be that? Can you be honest about it? Yeah, I'm vulnerable. I don't have the solution. Except I'm being in the game. I'm on the court. I'm doing what I'm here to do. I'm not just talking about it. I'm not reading books about it. I'm in the process. Or actually not even a process. That's a lie too. I'm in the experience of being myself. Tag you're it, right? It's way simpler than we think. And you think you have to work something out, or you have to make it be something, or you try to you try to look good at it, or avoid looking bad at it. Don't do that. It doesn't work anyway, right? Everyone's doing that. Everyone's trying to look good.
You look good.
Oh, thanks. I actually feel good. I feel great. All right, so breathing in, right? Let's breathe in for a moment. I see myself as a flower. Breathing out. I feel fresh. Breathing in. I see myself as a flower. Breathing out. I feel fresh. Breathing in, I see you as a flower. Everyone. And breathing in, I see myself as a flower. Breathing out, I feel fresh. We are fresh. We are newly born each moment. Solid as a mountain. I feel stable and solid. Breathing in, I see myself as a mountain. Breathing out, I feel stable and solid. Feels so good. Nothing I need to do. No problems. Practice to come back and take refuge in the island within. Helps you generate greater stability. Come back. Take refuge in the island within you. You have a path. You know you're walking it. So you have nothing more to fear. And this helps you be even more solid. Your path is the path of developing mindfulness, concentration, and insight. The path of the 5 mindfulness trainings. Be here, be yourself. Be here, be now. It's not a concept. It's not something you just say to everybody. It's really being that, being yourself, listening deeply. Listening deeply. This is what I found and have found in my coaching practice, is that mostly coaching is about listening. It's about just being there and asking a question. What would you like to create? What would you like to create for your life? The free gift on my website is create your life's desire. What would you like to create? You have a video program that teaches you to do that. It's just about going within, maybe drawing a picture about it, maybe, I don't know, letting it arise within you. Discover what that is that you want to create. Because sometimes we don't know, and then we freak out that we don't know. I'm supposed to know. If you were supposed to know, you'd know. If you don't know, that's good. Let it be, and just say, I don't know. I wonder what it could be. But if you don't ever ask yourself the question, then you never get to the answer. And you're always frantically looking for it outside of you. It comes from within, right? It's a discovery. Your purpose is a discovery. I can't tell you what your purpose is. No one can. But you will discover it when you choose to. Choose to discover it and then be it. Do it. Take action. Because I'm going to read a little bit from the Course of Love. There's a section called, I read everything. The Course of Love is extraordinary. Attention, chapter 29. So what I'm realizing that everyone really is looking for once you're on the path and you're doing this inner work is that you really want to be helpful, right? Show me how to be helpful. How can I help? How can I serve? And often we think, I'm supposed to do something. And God wants me to do blah, whatever it is. But what I'm realizing is that God doesn't want you to do anything, really. God is God. Being God is in everything you see. He's in the cells that you're breathing. He's in everything you see. So he doesn't want for anything. He's totally cool. It's the creative power of the universe is already being itself. It doesn't need anything. It's not lacking anything, and it doesn't need you to do anything or be anything either, because you're already whole and perfect. But we get to this place where we've had these experiences of oneness and healing, and we go, I got to give this away. And that's a really important place to find yourself. That's why I went to New York so much. That's why I kept giving myself away, because I knew I had a solution that worked for me. And it wasn't okay. It felt really urgent that I keep giving it away. So what I'm finding is that most people really are just looking for that, what they are meant to be doing. Okay? Because you've had a lot of life experience, you've worked as whatever you've done, and you can heal and you can be healed, and you want to give this away. So the key of it is that all you really need is the desire to be of service. And the ideas are going to be given you. So if you have the willingness to be of service, the ideas will come, right? Just step into this, I don't know, leave it blank, don't fill it in, and just imagine. Just see what will come to you. Let's see, what do I love to do, right? What, like Lisa did the other day, what brings me joy, Okay, so I'm getting a thought right now that actually I really love being on the water. I love sailing. And since I moved back east, I thought, I'm going to learn to sail. Well, I didn't get to it, so I didn't do it. But I'm actually a pretty good sailor already. And I've never actually taken lessons. So I'm going to Florida. And I just realized, I'm going to be in Florida. And I know somebody whose husband actually works, and brings kids on sailboats. It's just incredible. So I have this idea that just came to me, really, is starting to come into my awareness that maybe I'm going to do workshops on sailboats. I don't know. It's an idea. Yeah, let's all meet in Florida. We'll go for a sail and we'll transform our lives. So I have a friend that's actually doing that. She's a coach and she wants to do that. She wants to bring women on and have sailing trips. So anyway, it's an idea, right? It could happen. It may not happen. But I like the idea, and I think it gives me joy to think about doing it. So who knows what could come to you? In fact, last August, I had the idea that I want to give a retreat in January in Florida, and I am doing that. It's going to be the last weekend in Florida. In January. Yeah, and I just realized I do have that announcement to make. But my sister and I are going to give this retreat on the last weekend in January in Amelia Island. So stay tuned. Get on my website list, and you'll know your mailing list, and I'll give you more details later. But that just is coming into fruition. So the more I had that idea, I want to do it in Florida. I don't want to do it in the White Mountains this year. Then suddenly all this stuff opened up for Florida. But I didn't have that idea. It just came to me. It's a discovery, right? So I'm going to read a little bit of this, chapter 29. To attend, attention. To attend is to be present and to be of service. This is the meaning of which we speak when we ask for a commitment to life that requires your attention. Isn't that great? That's all it's required, your attention. You give it attention. It's like having a kid. You give it attention, it gets what it needs. You love the child by being with the child. Be with it. Be attentive. It is both a request for focus and readiness and a request for service that can only be given in the present by a mind and heart available to the requirements of the present. It's very interesting that it says requirements, right? Because you are required. It's a required course, Course in Miracles. You are required to do it, to be in the present. It is the appropriate attitude for the time of tenderness. I love this. The time of tenderness. Like we get to come home to ourselves and be the Christ child. It's a time of tenderness. It's like being newly born. You want to take that newborn and just, protect it and take care of it. And that's what you are right now. You're newly born. Okay, so we're in the time of tenderness, and we're in the, and as it is, I'll read it again. It is the appropriate attitude for the time of tenderness, as it is an attitude of ministry. Does that make you want to cry? It's like the teachers of God. Like, we're here to be ministers of God. I'm among the ministers of God. So my ministry is what I'm here to do. I'm here to attend to people, to help them, to make a difference in their lives. So powerful. If you knew how powerful you were, you'd just get out there and do this, right? You'd find a way. You could start a nonprofit. You could start something that would help kids that are committing suicide. It could be something really simple, like let's everybody call their friends on a certain day and say, "Are you okay?" It actually, someone from the Landmark Farm did that, and the whole of Australia now calls somebody on that day, and the whole telecom system shuts down because everybody's calling. It took off like wildfire, because it was an answer to a real need that people have because they're feeling so disconnected. That's why they commit suicide. They don't know who they are. They don't have this power. They don't have this knowledge of who they really are. What can I do? Start a program. Start a project. Doesn't have to cost anything. One thing you could do that would contribute to people's lives. And that's why I coach coaches, because I believe coaching is the most transformative thing you could possibly do. It takes people out of their pain, transforms them, gives them a whole new life in 3 to 6 months. It's just incredible. And I think the reason we're heading in, why coaching is becoming such a big phenomenon right now, is because we're really done with analyzing the past. We're really done with thinking, I have to solve the problem of the past, of what my mother did to me or didn't do to me, or the sexual abuse. But that's really done. We're not in that paradigm anymore. We're in the paradigm of creating solutions. Oh God, I can hardly speak about this. There's so much energy. We're in a whole new paradigm of where the light is obviously winning. That's why there's so much chaos. The light's coming in strong, really big time, to see, oh, this is where we still are crazy. Okay, let's do something about that. There's lots of people joining together now and joining forces to create the problems, to solve the problems. There's just so many places that are. Boston alone has incredible organizations. One's called Friends of Boston Homeless, I think. They have a huge program that helps take people out of homelessness. And it works. All right, I got 10 minutes. So I guess I should take questions. All I want to really end with is, if you're in the attitude of ministry and you're here to bring this light and you're here to just be of the light and be yourself, then you still have work to do. There's still something for you to do, right? I mean, I've never seen anyone more active than Lisa and Bill. Like, they're constantly doing workshops and talks and this program, now that program. And it's because they're driven by the need to serve. You know, we're all that way. And Laura, like, when you're in AA and you become a sponsor and you're helping all these people, it's just, your life is a whole different thing, right? It's just so fun. You become a coach, you become a psychologist, and you transform people's lives. You do deep trauma work with people. Oh my God, the shamans. Incredible. What we're actually coming into is this age of enlightenment. It's totally real, and it's totally here and now. So do your part. Get in the game and do what you came here to do. And if you need support, I'm here to support you. I really want to help you in whatever way that I can. I'm going to start a group program in January online. So anyone from anywhere in the world can join that group. You have to get yourself out of the way first. So you have to get out of your self sabotage and your belief in lack or limitation. Once you get through that, then you have this clearing, right, for you to have a possibility for a whole new life. So that's what my programs are about. Is there anything you guys want to say? I like to open it up for questions because I'm tired of hearing myself talk. Laura. You have the mic, anyone? Oh, it's next to you.
Awesome hearing you. I love you. I'm going to miss you too. I think, like you said, we are whole and we are holy, and work has to be done to clear that channel. That's what Course in Miracles is. That's what AA is. That's what the fourth step is. I have to clear out my channel. It is at first looking at things and resentments that are fancied or whatever. It doesn't serve me to keep going into my past. I see people literally, heroin is huge right now, and I see people dying every day because they're living in the story of what they should have had for a childhood or what people should have done for them. And I do sponsor a lot of women. And the one thing I do say is, especially if you are an addict or an alcoholic, you've got to be careful. If you're a light worker, which we all are, we signed up for this. I have to be careful what I do. I have to let in Course in Miracles called Holy Spirit. In AA, it's called higher power. It's called angels. It's called guides. I have to open myself up and let them guide me to what's next. I cannot go into dark, dark places if I'm an addict. I can't, because I will become attached to that. I have to be really careful. And if you do that, like you said, put your hands together and ask your source. Ask God, where do you want me next? You will find out. I mean, for me, it's AA. That's my huge thing. I've been there 30 years. For some other people, it might be Al-Anon. If you've got, there's an outlet for you. I think the 12 steps every human being on earth should be doing. That's just my opinion. Or it could be go volunteer somewhere. Or it could be, there's so many things going on. Like you said, the light is here. We are the light. There's homelessness. There's heroin addiction. There's all kinds of stuff that we can, if you feel the call to be that with those people, do that. But do it with something that your source is guiding you to. Not the material things, not the craziness of the world, but hook into where you can actually bring your light to the people that want it and the people that are calling for it. And that's exactly what you're doing right now. You're reaching out to the souls that are like, wake me up, help me. You know, we are the ones that are awakening right now. We are the ones that are here to carry the light to the other ones that are trying to wake up too. And it's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Laura. Anyone else?
I love your story because I could relate. I was writing down because I can relate in my life also to a lot of it. And but like at this moment, the end. It's not over till it's over. Yeah.
What's not over until it's over?
Well, like you talk about do your thing, and I struggle with that because I don't see my worthiness.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So it's
That
hard
could
for
be
me
over
to.
right now if you choose to. Like, be worthy instead of unworthy.
Right. So I'm worthy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to.
Just a story. Yeah. Linda, I've worked with you. You're an incredible astrologer. You help people. You're doing it. You're being it.
Yeah, right. You have a lot more under your belt. Let's put it that way. Yeah. So I have if I look at those few things, I can be happy. Yeah. I know my story. I got a story.
Is that enough? There's no but.
No, I want to tell you my story.
I don't want to hear your story because your story isn't real.
It was a good story.
I know, we're so attached to our story.
It happened this morning.
It's over though.
Yeah, but don't you like good stories?
No.
They have.
After a while, no. They're all the same. They're all about suffering.
No, sir.
They're all about the same thing. Poor me.
What? How do you know? It's a good story. Wait a minute,
No,
Jesus.
No.
Wait a minute. You have
It's not a
this
good
book
story.
of stories.
That's not a book of
And now
stories.
you're not even. You're
That's
about
not a
my
book of
stories. It's not about stories.
No, and that is not a book of stories. It's the way
It
out
is.
of the story.
You want to fight about this?
Do you? I don't really like fighting.
No. That's a book about your life.
It's
That's a book.
acceptance of who you are.
I think like every day of your life, like you could take it that way, 365 days of your life. There's so many things. Like even when you talked about what happened in '89, you said you.
Yeah, that was the story. It's true.
Yeah, but that story, believe it or not, that was your Saturn return. Okay, now you're having another Saturn return, and you're
it's
also
true.
transforming. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. These are good stories because you did it on target. It was happening when it was supposed to happen.
You have so much knowledge, and you're brilliant.
But you're not letting me talk.
I am letting
You are talking.
I'm fighting.
Saying a lot.
you are. I am absolutely with you and for you. I'm not against you. I'm completely for you. I
Yeah,
think
but
you're
you won't let me
amazing.
tell my story.
Yeah, I don't think we want to hear it because we already
What's
see
the
the
story?
brilliance
What's
of
not
you.
the story?
3 minutes.
We someone
Oh,
else might
that's
want
right,
to talk.
okay.
Someone else might have a question. Thank you. Can I hug you? You know I love you.
Linda, you're awesome.
She's amazing. It's so much more interesting than the story
I know.
because she has so much to give. Anyone else? Nancy.
I don't know how to express this, but I think it's been about a little more than 4 years since I've known you. I met you when I was with Lisa, and I just see leaps and bounds and jumps of progress and light and certainty and conviction and love pouring out of you. And I'm grateful for every moment.
Do you know how much I love you? Oh my God. I'm so verklempt. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, someone else. Come on.
I've seen that progress too. I mean, you lived with me, and one of the coolest things was the experience of her teaching me. She came downstairs one day and she says something was coming up, and all of a sudden she burst into tears. And the mother in me goes, "Oh, well, you're gonna be all right. Everything's fine." I want to like solve her problem. She's crying, and she's like, "No. You don't have to do anything. This is good. It's supposed to happen." And I'm going, "What? I'm trying to fix it. No. You're having a problem." And she's like, "No." But she would just do that over and over. And I started doing it. So I learned from that experience that if something comes, you have to let it come through you. You have to let it come out. because that's how you grow. And I say thank you.
I love it. We're on these adventures. She's in Mexico now. Like, she had this big house when I lived with her, and she's like, this house. I'm like, yeah, you got to sell this thing. And and now you have, and you're free.
She said to me, girl, you've never left Massachusetts. You got to get out in the world. And I'm like, yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. And here you are. But it's like that, right? Like, why are we holding ourselves back? Why are we staying in limitation? We just don't know how incredible our lives can be.
We're out of time.
Okay. Blessings. Thank you. Such an honor. Such a privilege. Yeah. Wow. Thank you.
That was awesome.
I had fun.
There's some great comments for you online, Monica. They
Oh,
loved
good.
your talk.
Yay.
Yeah.
Did I look good?
Yes, you did.
Everyone looks good.
And your really nice colored coat. I love it.
Well, I would like to thank you also, Monica, for really being the light at all times and your total devotion to the awakening and to really carrying forth this joy to everyone. So I thank you. And we're grateful for all of you being here. And this really has been a blessing to us that we have a community now. And we encourage everyone to support the space. It really does help us to pay for the Friday group and the live stream every single week. Your dollars make a huge difference to the work we're doing here. So there's a box there in the back, and there's also a donate button online for the live streamers. So just whatever you can give, thank you with all our hearts. And we say the unity, blessing of the ties, divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And Monica, I'll have you do the closing prayer.
Okay. Father, Mother, Creator, we love you. We are with you. We are you. Bless us. Teach us to let go of our limitations and carry your love into this world. All that we need is given us. All the power in the universe is ours. There is nothing our holiness cannot do. And for this, we are eternally grateful. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
I'm going to